Hello there, welcome to today's Daily Dominion, which is very orange. It's a Renaissance plunder board. A shaman, which is of course a bit of a rules change where at the start of your turn you get a card from the trash. So getting thin can be challenging. There's no draw really. I mean, Siren is technically draw, but it's not. I mean, it can function. It can do some stuff here. I don't want to completely say no to it, but there are some challenges associated with using it because there's no village. There's some scepter stuff you can do. There's some like scepter flagship. There's some weird things you could do to get extra actions here that aren't gonna necessarily work consistently. There's launch also, which for 3 can give you an extra action. It may be valuable here, honestly. But ultimately, you're going to want to get some money stuff going and then take the provinces. This is certainly a board we can lose here. No doubt about it. I don't know that abundance will be any good at all. I think I probably will open with the Crucible. And then beyond that, I just don't know. I don't think Frigate is particularly good here. I guess it could kind of attack if they have Sirens, but there are also some ways around it. I don't really think villain is that good here, but nothing is super good here. So everything that gives you like some resources can potentially be good enough because it's just a weakish board. There's some tricks you can do with enlarge and the shaman effect, which is like, I don't know. Let's say you're doing the resolving the duration part of this, the next turn stuff. You have a golden hand, you trash the gold into a province, and then with the shaman thing, you gain the gold back from the trash. So that cuts both ways because, when you play the enlarge on, it's like this turn effect. If you trash something valuable, then your opponent's going to be able to pull it out of the trash. So ideally, you're trashing bad stuff with the first one, or like mediocre stuff with the first thing, and then good stuff with the second one, because you can get it back. All that being said, I don't know how much value you get out of it. This is a nightmare. I guess we'll just start playing it though. We don't really have a lot else to do. I'm gonna open Shaman Crucible. I kind of expect the AI to do the same. We could get a 5 here, I guess, if we thought that was better than trashing. Trying to think. We could launch. And if we draw copper, we buy a shaman. If we draw a crucible, we get to trash another card. If we draw a state, well, we just drew an estate. We could maybe do flagship. I'm really not clear. I mean, if we don't draw the crucible next turn, we'll certainly launch to give us the 50-50. I mean, the advantage of launching now is that you do guarantee drawing the crucible. The disadvantage is, of course, that then this has the estates and you didn't play the crucible on it. Couple 2, you're just gonna gain back the card you trash anyway. Pretty bad draws so far. But we'll try our best. I don't know. Last card is Crucible, so we won't launch. We're getting beat up on the estate, having the estates in deck quite badly right now. And we're going to take another one too, probably. So that's all going horribly. They were able to get to 5. My expectation now... I maybe should have thought about a Siren on the last time I had the 2 Shaman. I probably should have thought about a Siren. Yeah, they're gonna hit the villains, and you know, ultimately, those are gonna be pretty good. Because this is gonna prevent me from. I mean, they're gonna accumulate coffers, and then what did they do? Interesting. They're gonna accumulate the coffers. I think we're probably already lost. Like, quite badly. But we can try to fight it. The they're not doing like badly on the... Wonder if I just buy the Siren here. Oh, it's there. Wow. There's also a canal. Wow, that's brutal. Holy cow. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. That actually is brutal. So because of canal, on their turn, the estates and the shaman only cost 1. So the villains are only hitting the good cards. That actually super sucks. That's interesting. You have to discard a gold, which is kind of nice. We're still... I don't know. We're still getting beat up on the estate splits. They do buy a duchy, which I think is gotta be a mistake. This is not really this time all of these would be eligible anyway, so it's not really different. Would love to... I would love to play... I guess I just say these. I would love to play my Siren. Let's do this. Yeah, we're getting... I think I'm going to keep this. The Dutch, at least them spinning the coffers on the duchy is like so bad it gives us like some kind of shot, if not a great shot. Because it's really awful. Mm. Trashing the copper here is bad, because then it gives them an option to take the copper instead, and I have to take the estate. I think I was messing that up at some points early on. I definitely think I should have taken a Siren the very first time I had the Shamans collide. That looked like a pretty big mess up on my part. We do have this Crucible nerfing itself situation going on, which is funny. I think the point gap is just going to be too large here, unfortunately. Yeah, certainly if they get to do this, then it's just too late. So that's a bummer, but not unexpected by any stretch. Both on the game type and just on how it was going. We can replay it again, but you know, as always, replaying these is just locking you into a particular. You're just. I don't know if this always. I know some people probably understand this, but based on comments videos, I don't think everyone fully understands this. But when you undo here and restart the game, you are playing the exact same shuffles, or until you do something that makes the chain of the RNG generator be shifted such that it's not just duplicating it. So you draw your opening buys in the same spots. If you add the same number of cards, then whatever card you added at that point goes to the same spot it did in the game. Will always go to the same spot. So reloading, what I do in I don't know why I'm going on this tangent now. But when I reload the game, it's not really an exploration of how the game can be played out if you replay it truly with, a new RNG seed. So these replays that I sometimes do in these videos are extremely limiting into what they can inform you about how to play the kingdom, or even how the kingdom, or completely useless for determining how the kingdom would go on like average. Anyway, I don't know why I thought, we got to get that explained right now, but nonetheless, here we are. I don't really know. There's not. I can just keep taking these duchies, but I would have to get 2 unanswered. They have the coffers. I'd have to get 2 unanswered. I guess 1 unanswered. They would have to buy none of them for a long time. So this is all a bit silly. Let's see if we get to 26. See, even 26 there is not, unless they do something really, unless they trash some things and give us some points via the Crucible. It's not really going to do what we need it to do. I mean, with this much money, we could go ahead and buy the province. It still doesn't do anything for us. And eventually they're going to get, they're going to get enough. I'm not going to play the shaman because what I'm actually looking for here is to replay the siren with flagship, which will at least give 2 curses. And I guess there's some weird situations where if the AI hasn't bought if the AI had like had 7 there or hadn't had enough to buy province, if the AI like bought a gold rather than an estate, then I could have won. Now, I don't know that they would ever have done that, but I could have. And this hand would have been good enough to win. I mean, it'd be weird, but if they hadn't, if they had bought like a gold, I don't know. And then I replay siren twice, it goes to 35. Or I play siren twice, and then we have enough to buy the buy the province. All right, we'll do one replay, even though I did that whole thing. I think if I'm gonna focus on something different here, there's like there's still let's say we do the same opening, okay? So we go back to here. The question is if we just like right away say, yeah, we got to get siren. Let's try that angle. Of course, we don't launch because so this is funny because the AI has now immediately gained a siren as well, which is just not something they did in their unlike the shuffles, the AI is not deterministic to undos and various things. There are weird things going on with the AI. And I guess just even my changing my play could be enough to do it, but I think there are actually other things where if you just undo one step, the AI will make different decisions. Which I also find kind of unsatisfying, but let's say we have 3. If we launch, we draw, yeah, that's pretty. Let's just buy another. What happened there? Oh. Oh, they did not do this with me at all in the first playthrough. They didn't. I thought they gained the siren and trashed a shaman. That's not what happened. This is why can't I get the buggy stupid AI so they bought a siren and the siren just immediately goes into the trash, right? And they had gained the shaman that I had trashed. So then I'm automatically resolving gaining a siren. But then I didn't have an action card in hand, so the game automatically resolves that the siren just gets trashed again. This is completely opaque, by the way. Like, without the log, you just don't know. I mean, let's go look. Let's see what it looks like, I guess. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see if, so there, I mean, you see some cards moving around, but. Okay, so then at the start of my turn, something just happened that you just can't tell. I mean, there's a little bit of card movement, but you wouldn't have any expectation of knowing what occurred there because the log is not visible and the animations are garbage. I'm full of hate right now. Okay, I'm gonna take it out on the client. So that's kind of interesting. So anyway, now there's just a siren in the trash, and what happens is the next time the AI on the AI's next turn, they do in fact draw a let's cheat. See, I don't want to launch. I don't know why you can't just click undo. Oh yeah, that's the thing I talked about a lot. Anyway, so what happens now is then the AI does gain the siren, does have a shaman, and that's why there's a shaman in the trash there for me that time, which is kind of weird. But I didn't have 3, otherwise I would probably have just bought a... I wonder if I should trash this copper. All this does... You don't even... I didn't pay good enough attention to that the first time around, but like if I trash the copper here with the crucible, all it means is the AI picks copper and then I gain the estate. Now, the AI may itself trash some stuff, but it doesn't make it any better or worse for me necessarily. Okay, so now I'm going to try get the villain first. Be the villainer. See how we go. Play it more money. We have some shaman, but they have maybe the bulk of them. They get in a large this time. Guess I'll buy gold. I did that in the wrong order. We should gain the estate after. Well, this is pretty weird. Guess I'm gonna canal. It's kind of nice with the villain attack. We could buy a second villain and just launch if we have collision. I don't know if that's good or not, but we are getting the curses back. Here's the chance for that. We'll see if the AI is like gets presented with that opportunity. Yeah, I mean, they kind of did it. I mean, that's about as... I mean, with this hand, that's as good as they can do, probably. So, do they crucible a siren? That's funny. As long as the siren's in the trash and nobody, like, uses it. I mean, I could use it now, I guess. Then it's like a way to dodge gaining the curses, which is kind of fun. I'm going to pay the coffers just to do another, or pay the launch just to get coffers here and then not really buy anything. I could have bought like a shaman, I guess. This is pretty funny. Now we'll just green, hopefully. This is like the opposite. Well, the decks are just wildly different for one, but this is in some ways the opposite situation from the last game where I have the villains. They have nothing. We're going to launch to play the siren and then there's still really not a huge reason to buy the province there. I will do it here. That was a lot of money. That's not good for the AI. Okay, so like I said, I mean, this is just, actually, this is not what I said. So when I say like I said, that's just not an accurate reflection of anything. But as I'm saying now, the, we'll just buy the province. There's like a pretty marked difference to how the AI's deck went this game, and it just is off the initial change from them doing this siren buy that does nothing, right? Like they just use a $4 buy to do nothing. I think in the real game they get, or in the first game they get a second crucible or something, and they hit 5 quite quickly. I mean, what happens here if we don't, what happens if we do the second crucible? They still do the siren there. So what actually changes, see if we can get it to do what we had it do before. I mean, what we did before is we launched was like this, and that, there they buy a crucible, okay. Their deck composition is exactly the same. It's just they just go for something different. There's like no no obvious rhyme or reason to it at all. We have bad crucible draws. That is for sure. Here we can play both just to get it out of the shuffle. Why was the flagship not? Oh, I bought a second flagship. That's right. So now there's, this is a terrible draw as well. Though we do get to pick up this villain. Another villain. We can do this. We can launch and then play villain twice. I don't just wait. I would like to buy a. Look at all that. What did they play? Would like to buy a canal. But this isn't great for it. Guess we'll go ahead and do it though. I'm not sure that's correct. Is gold worth a coffer spin? Probably. The crucibles have been really bad. I maybe should have played the villain first and then launched to play the shaman, but I don't know. Of course, now the crucibles are just bad anyway because of canal. Maybe second crucible is pretty awful. I sure am replaying this a lot for something I said was useless, aren't I? I didn't quite fit my actions to my words. or a little bit mismatched. This is sad as can be. Gotta draw the, I can't even play the shaman here because it's so bad. We need to really play it on a villain, which is depressing. Still can't really play the shaman. Guess we just don't have any villains. We don't have villains. That part of it, I imagined that we had villains, was in fact not true. What is in here? Like, that trash is not great either. It looks a lot like a trash that's just gonna let me gain a curse instead of the AI. Now we get to play villain 3 times. And then it's on the worst hand you could imagine, which is cool. I guess it's nice to know that it's a terrible hand. Though they've now they have to miss a lot of stuff here. Oh, they get to flagship siren. Okay. Okay. Well. That's cool. Wonder if, well, they'll probably just have province here. Yeah. All right. Well, we're 1 for 3. That one. One I don't know. The sirens I think are probably pretty good. I get this second crucible, which is maybe silly. The crucible draws were pretty bad anyway, but I don't know. There are some fun interactions going on here, but ultimately it's just so messy you just don't have, I don't know. You don't get to control it very much at all, which can be fine, but it's pretty extremely sloppy. And then it can kind of get out of hand whether somebody gets the coffers in the lead or not. I'm not sure. I think you can play it better than I'm playing it for sure. But I don't really know. Like, messing around with the flagships may just be a huge waste of time. Honestly, it might just be silvers. Because, like, if I'm just not playing in action because I'm trying to save flag, like, what am I doing? Well, anyway, I'm thinking about this a lot, though unfortunately I think how it breaks down is basically, does your AI, do you kind of get into the rut where the AI does silly things or where it does reasonable things? And if it does reasonable things, then you're just kind of at the whims of the shuffles. But for sure, I'm not totally convinced by my buys throughout this game. But there's not a huge amount. It's like we're going to say no second crucible here, I think. So there's not a huge amount that you can do about some of it, though. Unfortunately. I still don't actually hate the flagship. I don't know why I keep coming back to it every time I have 4. So then we're here, we draw this hand, the crucible. At least we replace the silver. We're kind of, again, probing the RNG more than probing how the game can be played out. But they also hit flagship crucible right off rip, which is pretty bad. We have a pretty large number of the junk things. Okay, I'm going to resist. I'm going to just not buy the second flagship here. And I'm also going to go ahead and take a siren now. A little different. Ooh, that's a little, that does a bit there for sure. How many? I have the 2 villains, right? We can try the canal. This is not, this is a bad shuffle. Well, how do we do this? And then do we just go ahead and play the, I mean, we gotta just play the villain, right? So we just don't get to play the flagship here. Unfortunately. I mean, we could play the flagship, I guess. This is already quite a bit. I say quite a bit. That's probably not true. This is already a little bit nicer. Their flagship and siren have been like completely paired. So I'm ending up with just an incredibly large amount of the curses here. Unfortunately. Guess we do it like this. This is stupid. I could have flagship my siren, but I shouldn't complain too much about the flagship siren. I'm not sure it's actually all that good, but I'm just trying to get the flagship villains. Guess they're gonna province. That's a lot. I actually think I'll take. Are they close to reshuffle? They're kind of close to reshuffle. They may get use out of this crucible, but I may not shuffle again, so I'm going to take the estate. We are here getting out ahead on points. It's nice. Guess I could have trashed the duchy. Is that the play? What's the play? Just say, where's my other villain? Then we can trash province by province. I don't know. It's just a mess. I have no lessons here. There's nothing to say. It's just a mess. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will catch you all tomorrow.